On August 18, 1920, the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution was finally ratified, empowering all American women and officially stating for the first time that they, like men, deserve all the rights and responsibilities of citizenship. The fight for the right to vote began nearly 100 years before and involved decades of activists and supporters utilizing the power of their voice to guarantee that future generations of women would be heard. Continuing in the same spirit, American female artists of all mediums have spoken up and out on significant cultural issues, personal triumphs, tragedies, and the experience of the human condition. Through their creative expression, these artists utilize emotions, talent, personal experiences, and strong points of view that impact the viewer, invoking empathy, understanding, and at times change. On August 18th, 2020, the Mulberry Cultural Center, in partnership with Art Crawl Inc., created a virtual gallery of 19 pieces created by female artists in response to the concept of her voice, be it politically, culturally, or personally. A few of the featured artists were gracious enough to virtually join me for interviews to further explain their work. I invite you to listen and enjoy the artists of Her Voice.
I paint and create since I was a little kid. I used to do these massive drawings on my grandma's kitchen floor for hours. And since I was a kid, it was the only thing that I knew how to do or that I wanted to do. So when I was a teenager, as a senior, they made us take these orientations of what are we going to do with our future. So I always wanted to be an artist. But, your father and your mother, they are all family members. They always tell you, how are you going to live, being an artist? You need to get a real job. So instead of going to fine arts, I went and studied graphic art. And I went on and worked in the advertisement industry for more than 20 years as a graphic designer. And I still, during that time, I painted or made my own creative things, but I kind of left it behind or at a side because life, and I have always been in the art industry. So I have suffered from skin conditions since I was a teen. But last year it got very, very to the point that I was like, I cannot touch acrylic paint, and I'm a very messy painter, And when I came to live to Florida, I started to paint these very super big, massive paintings like the ones I have here, and I tend to use my hands because I'm very messy and I'm very expressive also. But when I saw that the paint started to worsen my skin condition, that I know now what it is, I said to myself, I have to shift my art practice. It's like I don't want to stop doing what I do, of course, because I need it to survive. As an artist, I cannot be without creating. So last year started studying, self-educating myself on other practices like natural dyes, eco printing, pigments. And for this piece, I was thinking about Mariana, the case in Puerto Rico. It was a woman that wanted to vote, and when she got to the election polls, they told her that she couldn't do it. And by the time already the 19th Amendment was passed, and since we are U.S. citizens, so we were supposed to vote as a woman, but we weren't allowed. So Mariana was a tobacco steamer and I wanted to work with the tobacco leaf. I think I have it here, just in case. I took a board and I was gonna do the centerpiece. This is tobacco leaf. I love to do. Now I'm very interested in doing mixed media pieces, and it has a feather that I have a colony of. Everything is a form of art. For me to go outside and gather feathers is by itself a form of expression. So I took one of the feathers and I did these watercolors with natural pigments. I wanted to be like a sky. The circle is like in the form of, I recently voted via mail for the judges. So I did this circle with the feather, circle is like I voted, and the sky representing like new beginnings. But behind me is the tobacco leaf, the tobacco eco printed fabric, like symbolizing the woman, the woman before me that did the work for me to be able to put my mark over there. So that's basically my piece. It's very emotional also. Besides politics, which is something very complicated and very complicated in the island because of our status, being able to decide for the person that is going to take action for the decision, the biggest decisions in my island or about my people, it was very powerful for me to be able to like, okay, this is the person that I think is gonna work the best for our demands or for our people. I get emotional. Puerto Ricans in the island, we are U.S. citizens, but we cannot vote for the president of the United States. We have to live like here in the United States to be able to vote for the president. Back home in Puerto Rico, we cannot vote for the president. So that's why it was a very important thing for me. We do have representation in Capital City, but they don't have a vote either. So it's like, we are here, we're represented, but we cannot, hey, excuse me, we cannot talk. Most of the decisions that affect the island on a federal level, we just don't have any vote on it. This is a good one. I will just say, be yourself and don't think too much about it. I think nowadays, with all these movements and all these labels that woman is supposed to carry, like you need to be a professional, you need to be a mother, you need to be a wife, you need to be successful because we have given you all these tools, so you need to be successful. It's like, at the end of the day, we are the owners of our decisions, of our bodies. And if I want to get married, I will get married. If I want to have children, I will have children. If not, I will not do it. If I want to study and move on, I can do it. But if I want to study what I want to study, then I can do it also. It's the remembering woman that we still are the owners of our voice. It's not, don't wait for you to get I need to have a BA. I was thinking, maybe I need to do an MFA, but I know in my instinct, I don't want to do an MFA. I don't want to go back to school to, I don't need someone else to validate what I do. But if you want to do an MFA, then go and do it. You know, is is it's very, I think it's very difficult nowadays to navigate what a woman should do or shouldn't do, even though we are more advanced. But I think we have like more labels on top of what should we do. So my advice is just nurture your intuition. Um, it sounds cliche that do what you love or whatever, but what is behind that is that follow your curiosity. I'm now painting and I have to change how I create because of some health related issues. So then I'm gonna do that. So no, nothing is gonna stop me. If you live, you make income creating your art, good. But if you don't, and your income comes from another source, good. You know, there's the only balance here is to nurture our true needs. Uh, the human being, it needs to express itself. If it's painting or writing or poetry or singing or dancing or cooking or making tea or making coffee, you know, taking time to acknowledge that need in us and listen to our intuition, to our voice. How are you gonna navigate this? If it's taking another workshop to add something to your art. Sometimes artists get in this type of narrow thinking of, this is what I do, I need to continue to do this to be like the best in my as a painter or and sometimes, you know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Maybe take collage and do collage for a year, and you're gonna add some other skills to your practice. Is doing what your heart is telling you to do, and that way your art can be very honest. Because nowadays we have so many influence of, we are seeing, you know, Instagram or TikTok or this and that, and we have more exposure to visuals. So how can you create like honest art? Sometimes you have to shut off all these things that are among us. Maybe we can create honest art. It's like, what are you feeling? How are you reacting to what are you seeing? And that can be very interesting. I have a website. It's sheilaburgos.com. I'm on the process of like refreshing everything with my new work that is gonna be about pigments, and I have a new series. It's called Luna, which means moon, that I did with watercolor and eco printed fabric, and that it will be going up very soon, I think next week. So you can go to sheilaburgos.com and sign up for my newsletter. So every time I have like new things going on. I also have I do expressive art workshops, and I have information over there. And my Instagram is Sheila Burgos Art. That's the one that I'm very like active over there. I have Facebook, and I even have TikTok. It's at Instagram, Sheila Burgos Art, and my webpage.